The coffee shop where I often write sermons, including this one, has windows that face east and south. That means that when the sun rises, it comes through the front window sometime in the morning, depending on the season. Yesterday, I commented about the bright sun while my barista was taking my order, and she noted that for a period of time, she gets blinded by the sun. And I looked around, I said, oh, there aren't blinds that you can put down, just a big black curtain. But it doesn't go all the way to the top. She replied, the light still gets through from the corner at the very top there. And I was quite struck by her comment. The light still gets through. Isn't it so often the way? Light finds a way. The light of God in Christ finds a way, finds a crack, finds the place where the blinds don't quite reach, however large or small it might be. The light of God in Christ finds a way to shine through, blinding us with its brightness, if only for a few minutes each day. Thinking about the light brought to mind this great quote from Marianne Williamson about how we sometimes fear light. You may not be familiar with it, so I'm going to say the whole thing. It's a bit long, and you may have heard it before, but nevertheless, it's good to hear again. Our deepest fear, Williamson once wrote, is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We're born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. There's a lot in that quote, but what struck me this week is its call to authenticity and its direct challenge to the powerful effects of shame. The core of shame, its primary message is not good enough or never good enough. Shame's secondary tape is, who do you think you are? Our human responses to the experience of shame are many and varied. Sometimes we turn inward with anxiety and depression. Others turn outward by bullying or otherwise seeking to dominate through violent words or violent systems or just plain old regular physical violence. That trying to kind of cover or deny our felt inadequacy. Perhaps most insidious is when shame manifests as perfectionism, when we desperately try to cover our perceived inadequacies or vulnerability by getting everything exactly right. Not only does that not work, it actually makes our shame experience worse because we can never get everything exactly right. We will never be perfect. Which is just fine because perfect isn't the point. God doesn't call us to perfect. God calls us to shine. We are all meant to shine, Williamson wrote, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. The glory of God manifest within us is not an image we create to kind of cover our shame. The glory of God is not manifested in masks that we wear to protect our tenderness. The glory of God is manifest within us in our imperfect, flawed, vulnerable, beautiful selves. Our light is seen when it shines through the darkness. If there was only light, we wouldn't be able to see it or feel it or experience it. Darkness, on the other hand, reveals the light. God's glory shines through the vulnerability and weakness. That is the heart of the gospel. And I love that Williamson specifically notes the special ministry of children to reflect that gospel. Small children in particular can sometimes demand, "Watch me," or "Do you see me? Do you see me?" they'll ask. Before we're taught otherwise, children quite naturally let their little souls and spirits shine so the world may see the glory of God within them. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. Williamson then continues, it's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. The first part is hard and maybe a little risky, but the second part is really where the rub is. It's where the glory of God meets our vulnerability, because while we might be extra special, so is the person sitting next to us. So is the person across the room. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. The glory of God is present equally in all people, male and female, Palestinian and Israeli, gay, straight, and trans, Russian and Ukrainian, Christian, Jew, and Muslim, Democrat and Republican, conservative and liberal. And so it goes. The glory of God is within each one of us, and we are all born to let God's light shine. This morning, Paul described something of the same thing, I think, in his letter to the Corinthians. He just uses different words. He calls it spiritual gifts. Now, there are a variety of gifts, Paul writes, but the same Spirit. There are varieties of services, but the same Lord. There are varieties of activities, but it is the same God who activates all of them in everyone. And then comes the zinger. To each is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. Spiritual gifts, letting our light shine, making manifest the glory of God, manifestation of the Spirit. You can just pick your metaphor. It is about the best of us, who we are at our best, not perfect, but our most authentic selves. Whatever that is in you, whatever that is in each of us, the thing is, it's not just about us. That's the last part of Paul's phrases that I think is the real kicker. To each is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. For the common good. Letting our light shine, being fully ourselves, not hiding behind a mask or other forms of emotional armor. This is not for our personal fulfillment, much less individual accomplishment. It is for the common good. It is for the community of faith and for the world. Playing small, Williamson wrote, does not serve the world. We are in a season of light. Epiphany is a season of revelation when light shines on us and on the world that we might see anew. And the light of God finds a way, shines through where the blinds or the curtains don't reach. The light of God in Christ shines through each one of us as we share our authentic selves, our spiritual gifts, our unique manifestation of the Spirit for the good of the community, for the common good. Now, we do that here at St. George's through all of our varied ministries, and we do it both personally and collectively for the sake of the world throughout our lives. This is kind of a theme that we will explore more in the next couple of weeks, as this season of light, this season of revelation, a season of calling into ministry, this season that deepens and develops over the next few weeks. To each is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. How will you use your spiritual gifts this year? How do you let your light shine?